it's kind of cool. Like the episode opens up with kind of touching base with everyone, letting us know like the main characters are okay. The last one that we see is Unique, where really and truly he like saved RAQ's life, and with that we see him returning home. But it's something that I kind of find interesting, and I noticed it like when I was watching like the preview episode, the little preview clip that dropped, where and it's something that I've mentioned in past reviews as well about RAQ, but this is like our first time seeing the exterior of like where Unique is living. We saw when he had the place up in Harlem, and when he was staying with his child mother's mother, like at their house. But here you see like the outside of this house where he seems to be currently staying, or at least his child mother is. And you look at it from the outside, the house looks pretty much similar to RAQ's, right? And even in looking at RAQ's house as well, not that there's anything wrong with it, but they live in like really normal houses. It's not like the houses just look normal from the outside and they're like, you know, super tricked out on the inside or anything like that. It looks like a normal house in Queens from the exterior. And I say this as someone from New York who lived in Queens for a number of years. And the interior of the house looks like your typical house in the 90s. Nothing really special at all. But then it's like you look at it where, look at the things that they're going through, right? With people shooting at them, the police are on them, they have all this stress and drama in their lives, all of this stuff to live in a seemingly very normal house that a person with like a normal job, especially at that time, could purchase. The only thing that you really notice is that they have like nice cars and they wear like nice clothes. So it's like you're going through all of this kind of stuff to live in like, you're still living in the hood, you're still living in a regular house. I don't really see the point of it. But then it's like when you think of it, it goes back to really the first episode when we're introduced to Kanan and RAQ. We're like, you know, we have the beginning where Kanan is like a little kid, but like modern day Kanan when he's like in high school, when RAQ is telling him about, you know, going to Stuyvesant and having the opportunity to live a life far outside of what her and the other people in the neighborhood would even think is being possible, you know. And it's like, it really drives home this thing with Kanan where it's like, Kanan really blew it, you know. I mean, and arguably through that, RAQ did as well, with not pushing him to really do something different, you know, because we look at this and it's like all this scrambling and shooting and ducking the cops and killing and at risk of being killed. You're doing all this kind of stuff for things that you could have if you got like a good, like regular job, you know. And it's like you see Unique with him off the bat. I like this kind of setup that they have where it's like, it's already set. It's number one, it picks up probably just hours after the second season ended, right? But we're still in the thick of things. It's not like it's days or even weeks later, which was something that we had in the transition from the first to the second season. But here, the time frame is even shorter, where, you know, we see after the whole situation with RAQ and the Italians, we see Unique now returning home. RAQ is in the hospital. Unique gets home, his older brother is there, and from the offset, you notice a little bit of tension there. And it's like this thing as well of these people and like the lives and the way they present themselves out in the street and then the way they are at home. Where it's like out on the street, Unique is the man. But at home, it's not fully spelled out, but you kind of get the sense of like his older brother is probably more that guy. You know, as he's explained as being like the guy that like the crazy dude in the neighborhood avoids. And from the outset, number one, you pick up that he's extremely perceptive, right? Unique is like open towards him, happy, excited to see him. There's like a little bit of tension there. And you get the sense of like, with him being home, there's going to be some tension here, just in that brief interaction. Because it's like, in the time that Ronnie's been away, Unique has kind of become that guy, right? And even you look at it, RAQ has become that girl. And it's like both of them have taken over from a close person's demise or downfall, right? Ronnie going to prison created a pathway for Unique to take over his organization and to move up and now become that guy. And then with RAQ, High Post being killed, right? That kind of, it's unclear how she got there, but creating a pathway for her to get there. And so it's like, with this, you see with Unique that with Ronnie being back home, there's going to be some problems there. There's going to be some tension there. RAQ doesn't really have to worry about High Post returning because he's dead, but rather, given what we've seen in the previous 2 seasons and that like RAQ's climb to the top has been kind of sketchy and she's probably done some underhanded things, it's going to be interesting to see how things play out as those things start to come back at her. You know, it's like High Post ain't coming back, but I'm sure, which we've already seen, the consequences of some of those actions are going to come back to bite her. And we see this with Unique as well. So it's like, I love the opening setup. Not a lot of action, which, and I think that's cool. It was the same thing the second season where it's like it didn't start off with a lot of action, but just continued to build on what happened the previous season. And then it's like it ramped up in like the latter half of the season to be more action filled. I'm liking this as well, where it's like we're seeing more of the characters, there's more development and whatnot. We're seeing people from the past come back into play. So all in all, I think in just like the first 10 minutes or so, we have like a lot going on there that speaks to like the tensions that are going to continue on through the seasons, the tensions that have been there through the previous 2 seasons.